service of CNC Worldwide.
The Daily is a service of CNC News and Jib Jab Greetings. I'm Bud Lowell, and the full AccuWeather forecast is right across the top of every CNC local news page. A freight train hauling road salt derailed in the town of Wheatland Monday night, dumping salt on the ground but not causing any injuries. The Monroe County Sheriff's Office says about 20 cars went on the ties near the Rochester and Southern Railroad crossing with Wheatland Center Road, not far from Awatka Creek Park. Wheatland Center Road was blocked at the crossing by the derailed cars overnight, but the Sheriff's Department says traffic's moving again. The cause of the derailment is under investigation. Empire Boulevard was closed at Irondequoit Bay for a time Tuesday morning after an Irondequoit police car collided with another vehicle. Police say the officer wasn't injured. A man from the other car was taken to the hospital. No other details were available. The eastbound lane was closed for a time after the late rush hour crash. A mobile home in Penfield was destroyed by fire early Tuesday. Monroe County fire investigators say it appears to have been caused by a faulty space heater. The Sheriff's Office says deputies in the Penfield Fire Department were called to the mobile home park off 441 and Linden Avenue about 3 a.m. The homeowner got out okay before the firefighters arrived. The town of Gates has its new police chief ready to step into office when David DeCaro retires next month. The town board voted unanimously last night to put Lieutenant Jim Van Brederode into the chief's office effective July 16th. He's been a police officer for more than 20 years. His first connection with the Gates PD was with its Explorer program when he was 15. After deliberating for 6 hours Monday, a Monroe County court jury found Megan Merkel not guilty of manslaughter in the death of Fairport High School teacher Heather Boyum. The 24-year-old Wayne County woman was acquitted of the most serious charges against her in a rare double trial: manslaughter, vehicular manslaughter, and drunken driving. The jury found her guilty of driving with ability impaired and driving without a license, and she faces sentencing July 15th on those charges. The other person accused of causing Heather Boyum's death last summer, 23-year-old Mark Skirbo, was tried at the same time as Merkel, but with a different jury, and they began deliberating Monday evening. Heather Boyum was killed while riding her bicycle on Route 250 in Penfield. Skirbo was driving erratically on his motorcycle after a night of partying with Merkel, passing and repassing her car. He went to pass her on the right shoulder, and that's when he struck Boyum on her bicycle. The impact threw her into the path of Merkel's car, and she had a half second to react and wasn't able to stop. The prosecution argued that both defendants were responsible for the chain of events leading up to the teacher's death. Merkel's defense argued that Skirbo was the one actually responsible. 2 jurors were seated Monday for the murder trial of Michael Pilato, the Webster teenager accused of setting his house on fire in 2011. Pilato's father and 2 brothers died in the fire. His mother and sister were injured, but they got out. Pilato stands accused of murder, attempted murder, and arson. Attorneys James Nobles and Brian DeCarolis represent Pilato. Monroe County District Attorney Sandra Dourley is prosecuting this one personally. The State Attorney General's office has reached a settlement with one of the nation's biggest credit card issuers to resolve complaints about its Care Credit health card. New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman says GE Capital Retail Bank and its Care Credit subsidiary have agreed to be clearer in marketing the cards, that they carry a 26% interest rate if the charges aren't paid off before the end of the promotional period. GE also agreed to give customers a cooling-off period to reconsider if the card and its treatment plan is really right for them, and to limit what health providers can charge to customers who use the card in advance. Schneiderman says medical credit card debt is growing for seniors and low to middle income New Yorkers. He says his office got literally hundreds of complaints about Care Credit before launching an investigation. One of this region's best-known sports figures is fighting cancer. Jim Kelly told reporters at his Hunter's Hope Foundation golf tournament in Batavia that he's been diagnosed with bone cancer of the jaw, and the retired Buffalo Bills quarterback faces surgery Friday.
Yeah, it was pain, and pain has been around for many months, and like I said, I went through a number of antibiotics at the beginning thinking it was just, an infection. And then when I did go to the oral surgeon, they first found a big cyst. They cut that out, and then one thing led to another, and here I am, and never thought that I would be saying the word cancer.
Kelly said the sarcoma of the upper jawbone was found early, and so his prognosis is good. Treating it requires removing some of Kelly's jaw and probably some of his teeth. And what his surgeons find on Friday will determine how much. Also, if he'll need radiation or chemotherapy afterwards. Speech therapy and reconstructive surgery are sometimes needed in these cases. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office is looking for this man in an attempted robbery of the CVS drugstore in Avon on Monday afternoon. Deputies say the man walked into the store about 1:30 and handed the pharmacist a note demanding narcotics. Otherwise, he wrote he would shoot the place up. The suspect then ran away without getting anything, and nobody was hurt. Rochester police say they have arrested these three men in connection with an armed robbery early Sunday on Alexander Street. 24-year-old Gary Bowen, his 19-year-old brother Matthew Bowen, and 24-year-old Eduardo Colon of Rochester. They're all charged with robbery, grand larceny, and criminal possession of a weapon. Police say two of the suspects approached two victims who were sitting in their car in the East End and robbed them at gunpoint. They fled in a car that was stopped a couple of blocks away by police, and that's when all three suspects were arrested. There's another new animal arrival at the Seneca Park Zoo in Rochester. Monroe County Executive Maggie Brooks says a California sea lion pup has been born there. The pup was born Saturday to Marina, a 4-year-old sea lion who came to the zoo in 2011 after being found stranded on a beach near Los Angeles. The father was Puff, who came from SeaWorld Orlando and who passed away at the zoo in October. The sex of the new sea lion pup isn't known yet. This is the 18th animal born at the zoo this year. A tree service has examined the red oak that fell on a passing car in East Rochester Sunday, killing the driver and sending his passenger to the hospital. The company said the tree had root rot that was not visible above ground and left it vulnerable to high winds, and Sunday's gusty winds apparently brought it down. East Rochester Mayor Fred Rickey said the 50-inch diameter red oak was on private property and the town was not aware of any complaints being made about it. East Rochester police identified the man killed by the tree as 47-year-old Jeffrey Miller of Pittsford, a father of three. To the left of the player window are links to these and other stories, and at the bottom of the page, links you can use to post news directly to us. Next podcast is As It Happens. Updates are as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.